about the important thing for a parent, and the important thing was being saved. And that's a good line, Francis. That's the kind of songs that I like to hear in church, where it means something. Most important thing is salvation. And if you think that having a good home is important, it is. If you think that the culture we live in has models for good homes, it's very difficult to find those models of Christian homes. But as important as it is for many things to be in place in our lives, the really important thing, if you think about it, for all eternity is to know Christ as your Savior. And if you do not, then you're missing out on the most important thing. And they call it the thing. Eternal life is the thing. But it is the most important thing. And I could visualize, I could imagine when they were calling for Daddy and we cannot go with you. We have to be on this side. You got to go on this side. I can see that. And one of these days there'll be a great, not reunion, but a departing or an asunder of families because people are not saved. Husband saved, wife not saved, vice versa. Kids not saved, daddy not saved. Happens all the time. Hawaii seems to be a place full of people, families like that. Broken families, spiritually. So not all the members are saved of the family, some are. It'd be really good if the Lord would do a good work and save family units. Husbands, wives, and children. Everybody's going to be saved individually, but salvation is the most important thing. When it's all said and done, what's really mattering is if you're going to go in heaven to be with Jesus Christ. That's what really matters after a while. That's the most important thing. Amen to that? All right, let's come over now to the book of 1 Peter. I almost hate to change subjects, but I am changing the subject somewhat from personal salvation to more homework. More homework. Last week, or prior to Mother's Day, I spoke from 1 Peter chapter 3. We're going back there again. And the first 6 verses were duties of the wife. Duties of the wife toward her husband. And she does have some duties. She does have some responsibilities. She does have some obligations toward her husband. But we shift gears now because we now have, it's your turn, gentlemen. It's the gentleman's turn to have some responsibilities and some duties. So we take turns. Now it's the guy's turn. It's the men's turn to face up to their responsibilities. Now, come over to 1 Peter chapter 3, verse number 7. Verse number 7. Peter says, likewise, ye husbands, now it's your turn. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers may not be hindered. Now, the first thing he tells the men to do is, this is kind of like, why are you telling us this? Dwell together. Live together as husband and wife. Dwell together. That sounds very basic, very rudimentary to marriage, but a lot of people don't live together. They live with in-laws for, the duration. They never have a chance to have their own home. They live in someone else's space, not their own space. Now, when a young man is in a home, he has some obligations when he is growing up in his family's home, does he not? What are some of those obligations in his home growing up before he ever gets to the place of getting married? Well, it's very obvious. Clean your room. Do chores, so on. And as he grows up, he maybe turns so-called 18, and then he's now an adult. But he doesn't always move out of the house. And nothing is to say, once you turn 18, move out of the house. Is that a Bible law? Maybe it is, I don't know, but I haven't found anything about that. But tradition is, once you turn 18, out. And if you don't go, something's wrong with you. That's not always true. Sometimes the boy should not go out of the house when he's 18. He's not ready to be on his own. So he stays home, but while he's staying at home, before he's married, while he's transitioning, he still has some obligations, some duties to perform. Now, let's say he gets a job. Okay, good. A little bit more independent now because he got a job at McDonald's. Nothing wrong with that, right? Okay, maybe something's wrong with that. How about Burger King? Okay, wherever. Now he starts to get an income. What does he do with this income? Okay, now he has some obligations, some duties to perform with his parents because he's living under the roof. Should he help contribute with something? Sure he should. Why not? Should he help with the groceries? Does he not eat? How about for utilities? Does he not take a bath? Does he not wash his car? Water his car. Does he not wash his car? Does he not do some things? Of course he does. Does he not burn up some of that resource that his parents? Of course. Why would it not be okay for him to contribute to the cause? It would be good. Be very helpful. I mean, for 18 years, it's all been one-sided. All you've been there, you've been using the house and rent-free and everything, and now you have a chance to give back. Give back. Now let's say he meets this girl, or several, and then he finally meets the one that, oh, this is it. And let's say the guy's a Christian. And so he's been praying about this. He's been asking God for direction. He's been asking his parents, talking to his pastor, getting some advice and so on, and talking. And he says, you know what? I think this is the one. And so now he's 25 years old. He's been living at home for a little while. He's 25 years old, and he gets married. This is a happy day when he gets married, isn't it? Some people are not sure. Some people are not sure. You people are so funny. And then they get married, and off they go for their honeymoon, and it's such a wonderful time. It really is. And then they come back from the honeymoon. Where do they come back to? Where are they coming back to? They come back somewhere. They come back to somewhere. After their honeymoon, everything is great. They spent a lot of money, but they planned for that, so it's okay. And they are now prepared to come back home. Well, where is home? Oh, home is where they're supposed to be living. Now, it's not always so ideal, but when you come back home from your honeymoon, then of course it's assumed you're coming back to your home. It could be an apartment, a studio. It could be, something like that. But where you hang your hat, your home, all right? So, your home. You come back, home. This is your home. You know that home should not be your parents' home. If it should not be the groom's home, the parents' home. Should not be that. He should be living on his own with his wife. Now, there's always a temporary situation, but I'm talking about permanent. You don't permanently live with your parents if you're the guy, or if you're the wife. Now, in the Samoan culture, we're very common and well known, aware of this, but it's very easy for the mother of the Samoan family to have a lot of say so in that new home. Yeah, that's really hard. It's really hard. So he does say the first duty you have when you get married is you are to live together, dwell with them, dwell with your wife. Don't dwell with everybody else. Dwell with your wife. Now, what benefit is it to dwell with your wife when you're newlywed? Why is it good to live by yourself with your wife? Why is it a good thing? Well, it just is. The Bible says so, and a lot of practical good things about that. You deal with your problems by yourself. You can get mad without anybody else hearing what you're mad about, and you will get mad at one another. And who has not been mad at his spouse? Who has not been mad at the wife? You see, the honeymoon's over now. You come home, everything is great. I mean, you're sunburned, you're suntanned, you're so relaxed, you had all this stuff to eat. I mean, room service and everything. Everybody treats you like a king and a queen. Now you're home. Now nobody treats you like that anymore. You go to the store, you think nobody bows down to you anymore? Go into Costco. They're talking to each other, as you come out, standing in line with your cart up there. They're talking to each other, and they don't look at you and take your little thing, and thank you again, get out of here. You're nobody again. And you're home by yourself, and you are to learn to live with one another. And it's now back to real life. You now begin living together as husband and wife. Every day, 365, it's just a little bit different now. It's a little bit different. And you're supposed to go through the differences together and grow together and fix things together and work things out together. You're not supposed to get interference from mom or dad or so on. You're supposed to work things out together. And it's really a blessing and a curse. But that's what's supposed to happen. Dwell with them. Dwell with them. All right? Now, take plenty of pictures when you dwell with her, because it'll be a good laugh down to the next few anniversaries. Because your first place, it may be, I don't know, pretty humble. It might be pretty like, well, we can do it. You remember that movie, It's a Wonderful Life? I know you Christians never saw the movie before. At Christmas time, It's a Wonderful Life. But, you know, what's his face? Stuart and this girl, and then some friends got together at this house for the honeymoon. It was raining, it's pouring, there's water coming down through the seating. It's just a mess, but they fixed it real nice, put some posters over here, and these two guys are singing a song over here. And this was their first place. It was a mess, but it was their first place. So wherever people land when they get married, this is their place. They will make a home out of this house. This is their place. And so they will work with God's help it out between the two. And it's how it's supposed to be. So the first duty, he says, is to dwell together. Ephesians 5:30, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And he quotes Genesis 2:24. So this means no contact with your parents forever. Dwell together. Dwell with them. That means you never get to see your parents again. That's what that means. That's not what that means. I'm just telling you that. Now, if you're a Jehovah's Witness, that means no birthday parties, no anniversaries, no celebrations, no nothing. No, it doesn't say that at all. It just says you dwell together with your spouse, the one that you married. And so you are to just take care of her. And also says this as another duty. He says, according to knowledge. According to knowledge. Dwell with them according to knowledge. All right? So you live together according to knowledge. Dwell with them according to knowledge. You are supposed to learn something about your spouse. You are supposed to know some things about your spouse. You think you know some things about her, and you probably do. That's why you married her. But now you have some things to learn about her as you live with her day by day. Some things are very funny. Some things are very fundamental, very basic. But there's some things I know about your wife to help her, and so that your home can be a good, happy home. Now, according to knowledge. Now, sometimes it's very difficult to know your wife. It has been said that it's impossible to know a woman, to understand a woman. In many ways, that is true. It is as difficult to know a woman, your wife, as it is to lift a car, an SUV, and change the tire without a jack. That's very hard to do. It's impossible. And so some ways it's very difficult to understand your wife, but you're told to dwell with her, the one that you married, the one that I brought you to, together. You are to dwell with her according to knowledge. You cannot just not think about what it is that gives her happiness, what it is that helps her to helps her day go better, and things like that. If the Lord gives you kids, you cannot say to yourself, well, she's going to take care of the kids. It's her duty. She's the mother of the kids. It's my kid, but she's the mother. She's supposed to do these things. That's her duty. Well, the attitude should be, what can I do? If you want to know how to please your wife better and help her, you want to find ways to help lift her load in many ways. So the guy's duty, responsibility. Now, if you're in the military, you know what duty means. Duty is not the easiest thing to do. My father was in the Marine Corps. He was stationed unaccompanied at Okinawa for a year. And so my father was a very family happy, bear hug kind of a guy. And when he was deployed to Okinawa years ago, it was unaccompanied for a year. It killed him. And, back those days, no Skyping, no nothing like that. It's just snail mail. And so family's back in North Carolina or Missouri or somewhere, and he was over there. And while he was gone, my wife was born. That killed him too, that he could not be at the birth of that baby. And so, but it was just a duty he had to do. Duty means sometimes you do the inconvenient thing, the thing that's hard to do, the thing you wish you didn't have to do. Oh man, I didn't bargain for this on a company tour. Oh, that's not what they signed me up for. That's not what the recruiter says. The recruiter says, one of these days, you're married, you're going to have a child, your wife is 6 months pregnant, and we're going to send you to a faraway place so you can be by yourself when your wife gives birth to the first child. Yeah. You want to sign up? No. They don't tell you these things. It just goes like that. Oh yeah, where would you like to go? Give me a wish list. No kidding. Singapore, Kalihi, oh really? Okay, Kalihi, okay, good. Whatever you want. Oh yeah, well, give me a list. Here's the list. You know where the list goes? Who knows? They'll send you wherever. I'm just saying, it's a duty, and people have to do their duty. Now, the duty from man is, if he's married, he is to dwell with his wife and dwell with her according to knowledge. Learn about her and what not really makes her tick, but what makes her, what can you do to be a blessing to her? You know, this is a word that has been thrown around so much that it has almost no meaning. Giving. This is so worn out. It's so trite. But it is also so true. When you get married, you have to do some things. Listen carefully. Between me and you, one-on-one, you have to do some things for her. Did you hear that? You have to do some things just for her. Oh, but what about me? You have to do some things just for her. Oh, but what about me? You have to do some things just for her. Yeah, but when you dwell with them according to the knowledge, you realize that there are some things that your wife has needs. She has certain needs, and you don't know what they are. I never knew what my wife's needs were for the first 10 years. Really. It's taken me all this time to figure it out. I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you that. Because instead of giving of self, I want to just think about myself. I was thinking about only myself, me, what I want, my needs. After all, lucky you married me, and I have need to take care of my needs. Everything was about me. And it's really sad because this is the reality of a man's thinking. It's about me coming home, prop my feet up, serve me. And it's not always like that. You have to dwell with them according to, you have to learn about your wife, about her weaknesses, about her strengths, about what her anxiety level is. Do you know what that is? Her anxiety level? Do you know what makes her really stressed out? Do you think she's always so oh, hello. Oh, so nice to see. Oh. Her hair's all... No. She's not always so Barbara Billingsley. You know who that is? Or was? You know the black and white kind of shows? Black and white? Everything was so ideal in the 40s and 50s. It was kind of good that they portrayed things ideally like that because people did live up to it. So that was good because they give a model of what it should be like. So we don't make fun about those old movies that showed the ideal mother. Her hair is in place. She's got a nice dress on, and she's got dinner just about ready by the time he comes in and puts down his briefcase and throws on his paper, and he sits down. And about the time he loosens his tie, the boy comes running in and says, "Dinner's ready." And he smiles. He smiles. It's so ideal. It's so good. So good. Don't see that anymore. So the opposite. But people lived up to that model. So I'm saying, dwell with them according to the knowledge. Do you know what really stresses her out? Do you know what makes her really happy? Do you really care? Do you want to know? Are there some things about my wife that only you ought to know about? That pleases her or gives her grief? You ought to know some things about your wife. I mean, listen, guys, you got to get beyond just, okay, what time is dinner? What's that? Smells like, what is, you see? It's got to go beyond It's got to go beyond the kind of stuff, you knuckleheads. I speak that as one. You have to dwell with them according to knowledge. And very seriously, learn, make an effort. God, help me to know some things about my wife. Help me to learn some things about my wife. We don't have kids yet, but help me to be a good husband now. Lord, you're going to give us a child. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't stand it. I can't handle this. I'm so proud. I'm so happy. I'm so scared. What am I going to do? And then, what are you worried about? She does all the hard work. So, baby's born. Things are moving on. A lot of excitement, a lot of happiness. And then, a lot of loss of sleep. A lot of things are not kept. A lot of things are not clean. Things are not done on schedule. It's all kind of like that. And then 2 or 3 come along and so on. And sometimes giving gets more chaotic. But you've got it made because dinner's always there. And the house is relatively decent. You've got it made. You get to come home to a decent, clean place. And baby cries once in a while. Do you ever think about what you can do to help? You should. So dwell with them according to knowledge. And you need to remember that you have the responsibility, difficult as it could be. It's your job, father or husband, to know something more about your wife for her benefit. You think about it's for her, okay? Now, when your wife knows that you're trying to learn more about her, it's because you want to be a blessing to her, her response to you is going to be so good. This is the thing about getting married to someone. You grow much closer together when there is this. Boy, my husband, he has given up this for me. My husband didn't have to do that, but he did it for me. Even now, I'm not talking about expensive. I'm talking about simple, small things around the house, or just things that you do for one another. And when the wife realizes that he's doing this for me, it just, oh, I love that hunk. Oh, he's not good looking, but I love him to death because he's such a, there's this feeling in her heart. I mean, it just swells, really, for real. And you guys ought to really make it a habit to learn something about your wife. I'll bet if we took a test, you'd all fail. What is your wife's favorite color? Well, that's easy. It's got to be pink. Why pink? Well, because most women like pink. Hey, your wife, what is her favorite food? Now, you might know this one, her favorite food. What is her favorite color? I'm not sure. What is her favorite place to go out to eat? Not sure. You see, so there's some common things, some small kind of things, but then there's some deeper level things that you ought to know about too. What's your wife's favorite book of the Bible? Why? What's your wife's favorite scriptures to go to when she's really feeling down? Do you know? What's your wife really need from you when she is feeling like, I can't do it, I can't handle it? Do you know? You got to know some things about your wife. It'll force you to be a better husband for her. It'll force you to love her. Look at Ephesians chapter 5. I know her already because we've been married 2 years. You're just learning about her now. Ephesians 5. Come to verse 25. As you dwell with your wife according to knowledge, look at verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. Look at verse 28. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. Verse number 33, skipping this chapter, 33 says, Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself. Now, these verses tell me that the husband is to love his wife so sincerely that he's going to make an effort to learn about her, know about her, so he can treat her like he ought to treat her. Not so much like she deserves, but so much it is for their own selves, their own relationship, to help her to be a blessing to her. Selflessness, not selfishness. Selflessness. for her. For her. It's for her. Now, if you think this is making you less of a man, well, I'm going to do all this thing for her. What I gotta be a slave to her. I don't know why anybody would think this. Even though in our culture, men are being feminized, being made to always apologize, being made to always, oh. No, this is not this at all. This is about being a real man, a real godly man, a real godly husband, where he has enough sense to believe the Bible, and he will dwell with his wife according to knowledge, and he will do all he can to love his wife and to bring her happiness. Wouldn't you want your wife to be very happy? You're that beat down already, huh? Would you like to relieve her of some stress and some headaches? Would you like to? See? All right. Okay, it's a tough one today. Number 3, besides living together and dwelling with her according to knowledge, the third thing is, it kind of fits right like this, according to what we can see. Honor her. Give her honor. This one should be a no-brainer. Many times we see men dishonoring their wives. How is that played out? Would a man actually deliberately dishonor his wife? I don't think a man deliberately wants to dishonor his wife. But I think because of the erosion of our culture and of Christianity in the home, emphasis on the home, there is a real coarseness now with how a man treats his wife and how he talks to his wife, how he talks about his wife. So how a man talks to his wife is how he can dishonor her, how he talks to her. I am blessed because I do not see firsthand in my family a dishonoring of the wife. Nathan has always honored Christian with his words. Always. Kristen is doing this. But if she wasn't here, I would still say this. Nathan has always honored his wife, Kristen, with his words. Always. Now, I cannot remember one time that Nathan has ever said anything that was critical about Kristen, which is like, well, that is so unreal about men today. But it is so true. The extremeness of this example points out the fact that when something's done normally, according to the Bible, it seems so odd because it's so uncommon. But it is true. You honor your wife by how you speak to her. Now, don't be afraid of being nice to your wife with words. Don't be afraid to honor her by how you look at her. How you look at her. Now, Nathan's a real character, and I don't see him doing this too much, but in fact, I never think I have seen him do any at all. But I'm different with my wife because I look at her funny sometimes. And I try to say something with my eyes, with my gestures. And sometimes I'll sit like this at the dinner table or wherever, and just like that. And I'll look at her like this. And I'll sigh. Now, the sigh is not good. It's like, I can't believe you're not doing this. I can't believe you're doing this. My bone to pick with her has always been one thing. Would you like to know what it is? She might hear it anyway, but I might as well tell you. My bone to pick with her is when I was dating her, I used to be at her house, and I used to see her serve her father like crazy. Oh, Dad, would you like another glass of iced tea? I'm sitting there watching. I said, this is good. And then he'd be done with that, and then the glass would be empty. Oh, Dad, let me get you another glass of iced tea. Thank you, Shug. And the thing gets filled up again. And I just watched, and I was thinking, boy, if I ever get married to this girl, this is what I'm going to get. All this kind of royal treatment. And take away the dish, the plate, and all this kind of things. Come, would you like some more? Would you like seconds? Da, da, da. Yeah. Oh, all this. And then sit on, after that, I go to his easy chair, prop his feet up, and, Miranda, can you come and squeeze my toes, honey? You think she said no? You think over here she's doing dishes or she's doing something with her mom, and honey, Miranda, yeah, Miranda, can you, Miranda, can you come squeeze my toes, honey? Oh man, my toes are so sore. Okay. Right there, Daddy. She'll come and squeeze his toes. And I thought, wow, this is good. This is what I'm in for. So I get married. Honeymoon is over. Come back to reality, our own place. I'm doing the right thing. We're going to live together. We do. I'm trying to learn about her. I am. And then that's kind of hard because I don't see what I saw before we got married. You know, with my glass is empty. I'm sitting there like this. And you know what? She continues eating. She continues eating. Talking, eating, you know, and I'm sitting like this. Oh, yes, honey, something. I said, my glass is empty. Like she's a server at a restaurant. My glass is empty. Oh, I didn't notice. I said, yeah, you didn't notice because you're never looking up. That's how I'm talking to her. Oh, would you like some more? I said, no, I'm just telling you that because my glass is empty. I just want to look at an empty glass. I don't need some more. I'm just looking at an empty glass. I'm happy with an empty glass. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm over there like that. See, now, that's kind of a funny thing, but sometimes it gets more serious than that, where it is like pure aggravation. Because my wife is human. She's human. And she doesn't always realize some things. She doesn't always understand some things. She doesn't always see things the way I see things. Some of my needs she don't even get. She don't understand that. Like when I've had 3 chocolate chip cookies that she made, she doesn't know I need a 4th one. She doesn't understand my needs. And she just looks at me like, nothing. You've had 3, that's it. That's your quota for the day. It is just so unfair. And I just take it so wrong and so macho-like, and I just get resentful. And I sometimes have not honored her like I should have. It's a common everyday living together kind of thing. All right? And sometimes you just have to, as a man, you have to love her through it. It's a high ideal. It's a high standard. You've got to love her through it and not get bitter against her. Though of them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel. There it is. I know why she's not so thoughtful. Because she's weaker than I am. She's not as thoughtful as I am. Mm-hmm. I know why she doesn't, because weaker in the sense of physically she is weaker for sure. And she is not the same as a man. No woman is. But that's not the point right now. The point is, he gives a reason why you have to honor her because she is the weaker vessel. And then he also says, as a reason why you honor your wife is because you are heirs together of the grace of life. That's the second reason why he says honor your wife. Now, in the eyes of God, there are no females, there are no Gentiles, there are no Jews. Everybody's one in Christ spiritually. Physically, we have our distinctions. The Jew is a Jew, the Gentile is a Gentile, the Christian is a Christian. There's a Jew, there's the Gentile, there's the church. 3 distinct entities, and they don't replace one another or cross over. Only in the sense that a Jew can be a Christian, a Gentile can be a Christian, female, you're still female, male, you're still male. They're never trying to change that. It's always going to be that way. That's how God made us. But in Christ, we're one, okay? Spiritually, we're one. Otherwise, we have our distinctions. And they should never be crossed. I was laughing because I was looking at some of the tennis going on in Rome. You know, they have 2 kinds of tournaments in all these pay-for-play leagues. It is always the women's side and the men's side. The WTP or ATP, whatever it is, you've always got the men's championships and the female championships, and you never have them made into just the championships. And there's a basic reason why, and if I have to tell you this, I don't know where we are thinking today. I know one thing, when one of these men served to one of these professional women, this professional woman here, she has won major championships at 25, 26, something like that, which is really hard to do. And she even looks like a man, but she's a female. And she's got the shoulders and the brawn of a man, but she's a female. Just gave birth 2 years ago or a year ago or something like that. And then this guy, a champion himself, served to her. You know what she did? She ducked. And she went, oh. You ever see a guy doing this? Oh. A guy doesn't do that. God doesn't do that. But a girl does that. Oh. She ducked. The ball's too fast for her. She couldn't even. She's a female. All that points out is that that's just the way people are. That's the way God made us. No problem with that. Now, we are to honor the wife. Honor the wife as the weaker vessel. And we are to remember that when we don't honor her, here's what happens. Look at that scripture again in verse number 7. Honor your wife. Now, I did begin by saying how you talk to her. How you talk to her. What about how you talk about her? How you talk about her too. You honor your wife by how you talk about her. Sometimes it's real easy to fall into this trap of talking negatively about your wife among other guys. And you don't want to be careful about that. Putting her down, or talking bad about her without maybe even joking about things. I got to watch out about that because a lot of times in the pulpit over the years I have said things like, why did I say that? It was a joke about these kind of things for a laugh. And after a while my wife says, why did you say that? I said, what? She said, I felt dishonored. I said, about what? What did I do to this? I don't dishonor you. Well, you said this joke about women. I said, well, it wasn't about you, but people thought it was about me. I said, I don't think so. And so, but she felt dishonored is the point. Is the point. Now, if that's how she felt about something, that's how she felt about something. If she was kind of getting all it doesn't matter to me. I should just watch what I say because I don't want to dishonor her as I talk about her. Or, you see, what about saying things about your wife when it comes to nobody makes this like my mom. You'd be a wise man if you say, my wife, she's a really, really good cook. She may cook 2 or 3 things really, really well, but you should brag about that too. Now, we have a pet phrase at home, and it is this. This is my own original, Kam Ching original thought. When my wife makes something that I really like, and she makes a lot of things I really like, see, I just honor her there. Talked about her in a positive, favorable way. Make you feel good about her. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. For you to talk about your wife in a very positive way. When she makes a really good dish, and I really enjoy that, you know what I tell her? I say, honey, that was really good. I'd pay money for that. That was really good. I'd pay money for that. You know what she comes back with? She says, you did. Ha ha. I know what she means. It's a little thing between us. It's a joke. But she feels good because I complimented her. I honored her. See? Now, guys, you don't have to be brutally honest with your wife. You don't have to be so honest with your wife. Well, honest is the best policy. Well, you'd be a very unhappy husband. Well, you know what? I was told that the manly thing to do is always tell the truth. Abraham Lincoln says, or was it George Washington? I cannot tell a lie. I chopped down the mango tree. It wasn't a mango tree, by the way. I must tell the truth. Well, there's virtue in being honest, of course, but sometimes your wife does not need the honest truth. You want to honor her? This sounds terrible. Do not always tell her the truth. No, for real. I'm not joking. You want to be very gracious with your words and thoughtful and tactful. The word really is gracious more than conniving. My wife loves to shop at the cheap places because she just does. My wife hardly buys anything new. When we were first married, she did because clothes were much cheaper back then and the styles and the stuff was a little bit more modest. But you can't find, so she makes a lot of her own, but then she'll go to Savers and Ross or Rough or someplace like that. And she'll find something that says good deal, you know. And then if I go with her, I got to wait around, you know, because I'm her chauffeur, the waiting room, the dressing room and thing. And she'll call me, come to the dressing room. Oh, okay. I come over to the dressing room. She says, look. And so I look, no, open the door. I look inside. She says, what do you think? And she's happy. Now, her expression tells me I better like it. What do you think? I said, and now, what am I going to say? If the color's really weird, if it's the wrong pattern, and, you know, it's too book-like, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I got to say something because she appears to really like it, you know, and she's saying it's only $4.99. It was $19.99 or no, $99, whatever it was. When the price is good, that appeals to me, but the colors don't appeal to me. I got to say something to her because she's asking me for my opinion. What do you think? Yes? I say, well, I'm stalling. I'm praying a Nehemiah prayer. Lord, what am I going to say? I don't know what to say. And she's looking for an answer, and I got to say something. And then finally she says, you don't like it, do you? I was so close. But sometimes I've had to tell that. Sometimes I've had to say, you know what? That makes you look a little bit. Women, you know, yeah. It makes you look a little bit. The lines are too horizontal, and that makes you look too fluffy. Never heard that before. You're right. She says, if I could say anything, you're right. I'm not getting this. It makes me look like I've gained weight. Maybe. and so, boy, it's tough sometimes being a husband. But there are sometimes I had to say something about something she made. I said, what is that? But I still didn't say, oh, honey, what? Come to find out she put too much salt, or come to find out she didn't put any salt, or something like that. But what I'm trying to just say is that I have to be careful as a man, as her husband, to not hurt her feelings unnecessarily. The key word there is two key words: feelings and unnecessarily. Your wife has a lot of feelings, whether she expresses it or not. She has a lot of emotions stored up in her, whether you realize it or not. She's not going to take things the way you take things, you know, poop, poop, water off the duck's back. Not like that at all. Sometimes things get so internalized with her, and you have to have some awareness about that. So you need to make it a rule, honor her. If you don't understand anything, that's okay. This is how it's supposed to be. But honor her by what you say to her and what you say about her. You're heirs together of life. And the third reason he gives as to why you should honor her is because it affects your prayer life. Verse number 7, that your prayers, let me back up. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife. Reason 1, as unto the weaker vessel. Reason 2, as being heirs together of the grace of life. Reason 3, that your prayers be not hindered. So he gets real serious. It's all serious, but he gets real serious because he says, if you don't honor your wife, then your prayers possibly could be hindered. Well, who wants a man, what man wants his prayers stopped up, hindered? Nobody does. So, as you are praying, you're on your knees, you're praying to God in heaven. You want your prayers to get through, but the hindrance here is not honoring your wife. It's like a concrete floor. Goes up over here and bounces back. Goes up over here and bounces back. Because there's a blockage over here. It can't penetrate because of the not honoring the wife. I'm not sure why it's such a connection to prayer, but he says so. Now, I can spend all day trying to figure this out, but I know one thing. He does say, honor your wife, one reason, so that your prayers are not hindered. What man needs prayers answered? Everybody does. What a husband wants to have a good home, wants to be a good husband, good father. A man like that, does he not want his prayers answered? Absolutely. So it's a serious thing to honor your wife. The many benefits you get is there, but the consequence of dishonoring your wife is also there. Think about it like that. Don't let it pass over your head. Honor your wife like you're supposed to. Honor your wife. She's the weaker vessel. Don't honor her because she is meeting up to all of your expectations. That's not why you honor her. You've been given 3 reasons why you honor your wife. Honor your wife so that your prayers do not get blocked up, hindered. The first time Nathan got a fever was when he was living in Cuckoo Plaza, not far from here on the 2nd floor. He was burning up. He was burning up. He was hot. I think it was 10, whatever it was. He just felt hot. We're a young married couple, young parents. Kind of like, what to do? Well, we read the little articles about what to do. Got the tub full of water or cool, lukewarm water or something. Got a towel put on his head, keeping his fever down. But he was burning up. Now, look this way. He was burning up. He's a little baby, our first child, and I'm praying to God in my heart as Miranda's doing what she can do, and I'm watching her. I'm thinking, what do you want me to do? And I'm praying, God, help. I don't know what to do. You think at that moment I would want my prayers hindered? Or would I want the tunnel wide open for God to hear, for God to do something? So it's a serious thing to honor your wife. Now, so far, everything's kind of big picture, and I really have tiptoed here and there about certain things, and I'm kind of taking my time so that we can digest week at a time these important things. But we all need our prayers answered, guys especially. We want God to hear us. Okay, I need that. I need Him to listen to me. I need to honor my wife. But I don't feel like it today because she made me mad. Grow up. She made me mad. Grow up. My wife made me mad last week. After almost 40-something years, she still makes me mad. I still get upset after all of these years. I haven't grown up yet in some things, okay? You know what your problem is as a man? You're going to hang into some ego thing, which is a problem, some pride thing. You're insulted. I can't believe she did that. I can't believe she knows. I can't believe she did that. You need to grow up too. Don't let stuff hinder the prayers going up. Don't let it. All right, let's pray. Father, I pray this morning